Alright, YouTube, hope you're well. Don't mind the baby face me. Don't adjust your screen. You haven't traveled back in time. Everything is okay. Um, there is a set of dying flowers in the background, and that dying flowers kind of inspired me to talk about a few things. Um, this new face, a new start. Yesterday felt like a good reset. Yesterday, sorry, I got blinds banging around in the background. Yesterday, it felt like a good reset. Every now and then, forest needs a fire, and as I think I look terrible right now. By the way, I hate walking past the mirror. I can't stand looking at myself in this selfie camera on my phone right now because I think I look like an idiot. But every forest needs a fire. These flowers, they looked great when I bought them for my wife a couple of days ago. Now they're dying. They're on their way out. Things need to be refreshed in order to stay on top. And I feel good. I actually am really looking forward to letting my body go back to its kind of natural state. And its natural state for me is probably 95 kilos. Yesterday I weighed 103 and my stomach felt bloated. I've had a lot of reflux, too much creatine, bloating my stomach, going to the toilet too many times a day. Sorry for that information, but pushed really hard. And I wanted to tell you guys, I guess, a little bit of a story about how the match came about. Because there seems to be a little bit of misinformation out there. So Lachlan and I, this match, came about, it really has to go back a few months to when Lachlan was meant to face Ryan the Milkman Scott for the #1 rank in Australia. We travelled to Western Australia. I went there just to film it. And Lachlan arrived 12 hours after I did. And the state borders changed their laws in that 12 hours. And Lachlan was denied entry to the state. He very frustratingly had to go home. And Ryan Scott was prepared for this match with Lachlan. He did a couple of months preparations. It was meant to be for Australian rank 1 officially. The banners were out. The Federation had approved it because at the time Ryan the Milkman Scott was rank 1. And Lachlan couldn't face him. So I was there in WA and we're like, well, let's do the match. I'll step in. I'd pulled the night before with the Perth club. I was in no shape. But I won. And I felt awkward. I felt gutted for Lachlan that he didn't get the title. Because I knew where the balance was at with he and I. And I knew that he was the strong man. But I'd been given this #1 rank. And I was never comfortable with it. And so I never paraded it around. And I said, look, Lachlan and I really need to face at some point. And neither Lachlan nor I wanted the match because we wanted to get some international opportunities and credibility and runs on the board before we were to inevitably face. I was due to face Matt Tairarangi Hector Morris, if you recall, over in New Zealand. And COVID once again popped up its ugly head about a week before that match. New Zealand changed its laws and I could no longer go. I was ready for that match with Matt Tairarangi. And then a local promoter, Andrew Johnston from the Gold Coast Powerhouse Club, he contacted Lachlan and I and said, gents, we'd love to see you guys as the main event for our next event. I'd love to put some money on the table for you, for the winner. And I would be honoured to see you guys fight officially for the #1 rank in Australia. Lachlan and I said, all right, I guess there's nothing else on the cards for us. We can't go international. We can't pull Matt Tairarangi. We can't even get into state. Let's just do it. Let's just sort out this one for #1. So there was no chasing this match. This was not me hunting the match. This was not certainly like Rob Vision described to me thinking that I'd close the gap. But that said, I am rightly #2 in Australia. And I was not going to back down. I was going to give it my all. It would have been silly to not. And I took the match so that Lachlan could have his fair shot legitimately at the claim. Even though a lot of us knew unofficially he was number one, it's only right to let him take it officially. So we did the match for that reason. And like I said, in the build-up, all the hype and all the talk and all the trash talk and whatnot, that was an agreement between Lachlan and I to say, yep, look, we're going to put our training aside, put our friendship aside for this lead-up, and we're going to go hard and give it the best shot we possibly can to become number one. So naturally, I wasn't going to back down. But as we found out on the day, we know who the rightful number one is. So hence the reset. The reset. This terribly ugly reset. And as these flowers die in the background, so does the last chapter of me as an arm wrestler. Lachlan's now number one. My goals here in Australia, long term, I'll chase it. I'll chase that number one. But I'm actually most excited now to let my body come back to its natural state of about 95 kilos. And I really look forward to pulling some international people at that weight and seeing where the balance is at, because I feel amazing. I really am in the best form I've ever been in. Anyway, guys, every forest needs a fire once in a time, so don't forget that. And yeah, don't adjust your screens because we haven't gone back in time.